Hey beauties, hello, happy Sunday. I literally had a spare 20 minutes on this topic of rituals because today I'm so excited. I'm taking my girlfriend out for lunch, a bit of a bougie lunch, hence a bit of the champagne look that's going here, and off to a beautiful bathhouse. So today is all about rituals. I want to really talk into this topic where we don't want to overload ourselves with doing more, but being able to tap into this feeling of giving ourselves energy back and a sense of really nourishing and looking after ourselves. So we're going to dive deep into this, and this is what you could also pass on to your clients, because rituals don't need to take extended time. That it's an opportunity where you can just really give yourself back. It can take a minute or 2 minutes. Like for me, before I go deep into it, even making my chai in the morning, where I bulk grind all the spices, and when I actually go and make my chai, I know it's time to really sit down and enjoy the experience. It's my 5 minutes to just be with myself, read something informative, something I love reading before I head into a big day. So let's dive into this topic of how rituals can support, benefit and increase our energy and our lifestyle and give us more back. So I want to go into this very, very deeply. 1 minute, I'll just check that we are live and we're in the right group. Yes. So this is what's really, really possible for us all. And I'll just check the volume. Great. So yeah, before I begin, it's been quite a fascinating week in the sense that we've just come off a long weekend in June. I mean, I think it's Queensland and WA that don't have now that what's called the King's birthday. So yeah, so lucky us who've experienced a long weekend. We all, us Aussies, love a long weekend. So also, just before I start, I just had the most funniest weeks. I seriously feel like at times I would love to write a sitcom about the hilarious things that go on behind the scenes of the beauty industry. Honestly, I mean, between you and I, you know me well, right? I don't take myself seriously. I take my work and my clients, my skin clients, my coaching clients very seriously. But when it comes to myself, I love to have a good laugh at myself. And not today. And this week, oh my God, I just have to share something so hilarious. I was wearing fitted pants and the zip was at the back. And oh my God, I got my zip caught in my underwear. Literally got my knickers in a knot. And I didn't bring, obviously, as we don't do often, bring a spare pair of clothes to work. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? Anyway, my work colleague, she rescued me. I was thinking, I have to go to the tailor's, I'm going to have to get a new zip, how am I going to do that? Oh, what a challenge that was. It was hilarious. And then my work colleague said, oh my God, you're not alone. She went and got some sunlight one day, popped out to the back of the clinic, was laying on the clinic area where there's a beautiful courtyard and some grass, and just getting some vitamin D. And she locked herself out of the back, so she couldn't get back into the clinic from the back room, the back entrance. So she had to walk out into public with her bra on. Oh, we do some funny things, us girls. I love it. So, yeah, let me know if you're here on this Sunday. Hashtag live. If you're live here, say hello. And yes, and hashtag replay. I love hearing what you've got to share after I've really just enabling you to just go a little bit deeper into this conversation, this topic of rituals. So today what inspired this was, it's just what happens, I'm finding, I don't know about you with your clients, but a lot of clients are feeling a little bit depleted through constantly rushing and overdoing. And, you know, we tend to, as women, want to achieve a lot, do a lot. This is about just stepping back and step into the beingness of ourselves. And I've been doing rituals for a very long time, and you know, simple daily rituals on just intentional practices that can support our energy, your digestion, your sleep, your skin health, your overall well-being this season. And these aren't just quick fixes. These are specifically for you to feel better and surround yourself with an experience on how you can create more functionality and more connectedness and a more sense of self when you give yourself the time to pause. Because rituals create the pause between the doing and the being. And we are so much in the doing in this time of life. How often are we able to just step back and go, oh, I'm just going to read this article, magazine, book, novel, you know, piece of content that really lights me up, that I really are craving to read. And I still hear today women feeling guilty by giving themselves time back to themselves. We don't want to feel guilty giving ourselves time back, right? Because rituals tell our nervous system it's safe, you are safe, you are home. If we treat our body like a temple, we therefore enter the temple and feel calm, connected and safe. How is that feeling so far to you? Because rituals don't need to take an hour. They can literally take 2 minutes. As I was mentioning about myself making the chai every morning, that's my ritual. It might be you making the coffee a little bit slower and drinking it really intentionally and flavoring all the sensations. And a ritual, I just want to be really clear, is different from a habit. A habit is something we do, but a ritual is something you experience intentionally. And most people are looking for transformation through big changes, yet often it's the small daily rituals that create the biggest shifts. Is that making sense? Is that landing for you? Just to be clear on that, it's the small daily rituals that create the biggest shifts. And winter here in Australia, around the world, is nature's invitation to slow down. It allows us to, generally what we want to do is slow down, nourish, warm and restore. And you know, I find in this modern world, we tend to celebrate a bit too much actually productivity, being busy. Everyone's just so busy, and I've changed that word and that mindset to being productive. How productive was I today? Because I don't want to be caught in busyness. There are seasons of being busy, absolutely, we have to acknowledge that. But yet the ancient wisdom and traditions celebrate rhythm. There's rhythms everywhere. There's rhythms in cycles. In the female menstrual cycle, there's rhythms in our body clock, our sleep rhythms, our digestive rhythms. Every system of our body has a rhythm. And this is what I love about wellness, is that it allows us to tap into, if we allow us to slow down and enable ourselves to slow down, it allows us to really have that self-connection. And when we honor the rhythms of the season, our body, often what happens, our digestion responds better, we eliminate better. And as skin therapists, elimination is one of the biggest things that has to occur daily for us to have healthy skin, to release the toxins. Deeper sleep occurs when we have more connection to rituals, calmer energy and clearer skin. And you know, the other big thing, it's a standard we need to keep for ourselves, and I'm really big on standards and having high standards. Rituals are an act of self-respect because it gives you that time to yourself. You're honouring yourself, and that is really special. And self-care isn't always expensive or time-consuming. Sometimes it's just warm oil on the skin, a cup of tea, 5 minutes of stillness, or an early night. I know for myself, every time I wake up, I do these body stretches in my bed. I sit up in my bed and I do all these shoulder rolls and spinal twists, and that's even a ritual to me. It might take, 30, 60 seconds, but it's just this intention that I have, that I do every morning to waken my body up. You look at a cat and a dog, they stretch, they do this downward dog, I call it downward cat, and my cat reaches his chest to the ground, it's beautiful. And they do it so naturally and elegantly. We tend to lose that connection to ourselves. We get up and we're racing generally, but how about if we just took a moment to really feel into our body, breathe, stretch, open, these sorts of things. I have other rituals. I go and have warm water and I scrape my tongue. I really do follow this Ayurvedic principles of having warm massage. What would I call it? Like a ritual of a warm body oil massage. And this really keeps my body warm in winter time. And I'm really coming back to that more and more, that the more that I embrace even this feeling of just nourishing my body, I just get a sense of not only well-being, but I've really looked after myself. And the more we can look after ourselves, the more we can give back to others. And rituals also help you feel grounded, and rituals also, in that feeling of giving back to yourself, you're really nourishing yourself, your well-being. And I'm just asking you, what sort of rituals would you include that would make you feel really cared for? Drop a line here, I'd love to hear. What makes you feel calmer, even warmer, and more connected to yourself? Just love to hear, because it's really one of these things. Us as women, we're very instinctive, very intuitive, and we have a knowing around this, but often it gets left behind. We tend to be the one that looks after everyone else and consider everyone else, but there comes a time when we just have to give ourselves that time back, that nourishment, that care, that genuine feeling of beingness. And you know what? There's something that happens now more than ever as I'm getting older, if I can say wiser. I get a little sense of that our well-being is more important more than ever. If you're not feeling really, really connected to your well-being right now in this phase of life, I don't know what is going to happen in the future for your health, and we have to really consider that. What I've been doing recently is I went and got an Ayurvedic consult. I love Ayurveda, and it did remind me to get back into my warm sesame seed massage. So I do that before each shower in the morning. So that sort of, rather than, rushing into the shower, it allows me to lather my body with this warm, so I put the massage oil, the amount I need. I only need about, would be about 10 mils into a little shot glass. Gone are the days of having a shot glass with tequila, no longer doing that. Shot glass of sesame oil, it's warmed up and I'm massaging it in, and then once you get into the shower, what's happening? I'll leave it on for 10 minutes, so then I go and put something like my daggy tracking on, because it does absorb into the fabrics of my clothes. Leave it for 10 minutes, and then in that time that I've left it on, what's fascinating is that all the impurities come to the surface, and then I have this rinse off, and my skin is so silky, and it keeps me warm for the most of the day. It's amazing. Also, another tip, if you do feel the cold in winter, if you're familiar with the Ayurvedic body types, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, I'm Vata Pitta, so I run cold, and it's not about your body shape or less body fat. It's not about that at all. It's just your body type. There's a herb, well, it's actually a resin called Hing, H-I-N-G. I've been putting that into my meals at night when I'm cooking. You just need a little fingernail amount, tiny amount. It's like a spice, but it's not. It's a resin. And it creates heat in your body. Oh my gosh, I haven't had a winter without getting chilblains, and I'm happy days now. I haven't had chilblains yet. So my hands are warm, so that's a real plus for me. Yeah, so just sharing, like, the older I'm getting, the wiser I'm getting, that our well-being is our wealth. It is needs to be our priority, because I don't know about you, I've been in the industry so long, over 3 decades, and the women I used to look after are now in their late 70s, and I can tell the ones that have looked after themselves and the ones that don't. And it's not a criticism or a judgment, it's just what I'm noticing is that I learn from what works and what doesn't work, as we all do, and we really have to take self-responsibility and make the time to carve out time for rituals, to really build our resilience, our health, our care, our sense of beingness, and just taking the time. When we do look after ourselves, we are slowing down. We're giving ourselves permission. Giving yourself permission is so important, and I share that with my clients. Giving yourself permission to look after yourself. And I get the feedback with, "Oh, Naomi, you're always so good at looking after yourself." Well, who else is going to look after me? Yes, I've got friends and my beautiful husband and people around me who'll check in, but we have to do the work, right? Absolutely, Kelly. Less noise. Yeah, I now have a ritual. I don't want to be on my screen at 9 p.m. at night. I know how depleting that is, and it mucks up my sleep patterns. So sometimes we do need to do some work, but I'm talking majority of the time, like 80% of the time, when we know what works for us and pay attention to what works. That's the difference, paying attention. Then we can really move into this mode of a different and deeper understanding of what we need to really take care of ourselves. And yeah, totally agree, Kelly. I love the pleasure of saying no, like learning the lessons of being okay with no. No isn't nasty, mean, or rude. No just means yes to yourself. And there's so many ways of where we can say yes more to ourselves and create more space in our life. And when we do show up for the people we love, care, respect, and want to be with, we're more available, we're listening, we're present. And that's what's really important. That's also a ritual, being present, being able to really listen to the people that you're with at the time, and really feeling more, because you have more space in your mind, body, and heart to give. So yeah, I love this conversation. I think we need to have more conversations about showing up more for ourselves, so we can show up bigger, better, brighter for the people in our life, whether it be your clients, family, friends, your intimate other, even someone on the street, like someone you walk by and you can have eye contact, and that can change their day. Saying hello, like, amazing. I remember when I first came to Sydney, people were going, "Oh, you're not from Sydney, I can tell," because I'm like, what? That's a really funny situation to say that to someone, but it's just because I was present and I engage with people. I look at people's eyes when I talk to people. I don't walk past someone unless I'm distracted and looking in my bag. I don't tend to look away from someone. You know, that's a person walking towards you. And I think these days, the more that we can show up and just give people a gentle smile, you know, costs nothing, it means a lot. Yeah, so that's really, really special. And having an empty tank, there's nothing to give. We can't give from an empty cup, right? And that's what I love about our industry. We are so privileged as educators, practitioners, therapists, skin therapists, estheticians, dermal therapists, all the things that we do. We are so privileged to be able to share this knowledge to our clients. But as long as we're practicing what we're preaching, I think that's the thing, you know, being able to generally and intentionally say, I do these things. It gives volume and weight and more respect to what you do. I suppose in closing, I just wanted to say, I create these rituals intentionally so it gives me more space to listen to my body. And that is, I find, why people come to me more and more. There's this instinct that people have, and they come to me for my wisdom, my innate knowing that I can look after them at a much deeper level. Yes, skin, I get results. In my coaching, people can grow their business. I can share about their numbers, scaling their business. So much. I can create more productivity in people's businesses, more financial stability. Yes, but the people I attract, particularly in my coaching world, are the people that want to be in my space, because I can hold space and allow people to feel safe and comfortable, and that they're not going to feel like, oh, I'm going to get judged because I'm not looking after myself, or my business is a mess, or whatever the situation is. It's that feeling that, yeah, we're all human, we're on this human journey, and it's okay. It really is. It's okay to have moments where it's all too much. We need to be real about that, and that's a big part of what I bring forward, is being okay. You can laugh at yourself, like I shared at the beginning of my chat today. I was just having a laugh. Oh my God, got my knickers in a knot, literally, in my zipper. And you know, we're human, and that's the human experience. You know, if we can share our silliness, our vulnerabilities, our rawness, we're real people. We don't have to pretend we're something we're not. And that's what I love. I attract the people that want to feel safe, that I can share my silliness as well as my greatness, and I just show up and give the results. That's the great thing. Yes, I'd love to hear from you. Anything that you're practicing right now, I'd love you to drop a line. Us in the industry, we transform people like no one else, and it is an absolute honor and privilege that we can never forget. And this is where we make lasting change for people. And the same is true for our health and our energy and our well-being. So I'd just love to ask you directly, what would make you feel more grounded? Is there a particular ritual that you love? I know sometimes I go out and just take my shoes off and touch the grass, be in that earth. I just love touching the earth. Getting some vitamin D, 5 minutes, put the timer on, get some sun on my belly. And another question I love to ask you, what ritual have you stopped doing that you'd love to bring back into your lifestyle and back to yourself? And if you had an extra 10 minutes each day, how would you use it to nourish yourself? Like, what would you be doing? I feel like just being here for the 20 minutes or so, it feels like giving back, being of service, being able to share some wisdom and knowledge makes me feel great as well. You know, it gives back to me. It's that exchange. And, you know, where else can you be of service that gives you that feeling back to yourself? And what's one ritual you'd like to introduce this winter? And just a little other thing, what would help you feel calmer, warmer, and more connected to yourself? Well, beauties, this has been fantastic, and just loved the chat, and just would love to know, you know, what's been happening in your world, in the sense of, will you make this possible? Will you really honor yourself? Increase your self-respect. Just give yourself that time to slow down. Tap into your beingness. Be in the energy of how great you are, because when you give back to yourself, you do have that sense of, oh, this feels so wonderful. As simple as that. And if you'd love to continue the conversation, drop me here, or come over to Instagram at Beauty Business Evolution, say hi in a DM. Otherwise, have the most fabulous Sunday, everyone. I can't wait to hear more of what you've got to say below, what rituals you're doing, what you'd like to introduce, and what would you like to bring back. Perhaps it's something you did years ago and you went, oh, that was really great, and I'd love to reintroduce that. So sending you all so much love. Happy Sunday, and here's to a beautiful week. Ritualing on. Okay, beauties. Bye for now.